Hey, Jordan.
Oh, hi.
Perfect. Thank you so much for jumping on. We appreciate and see you and are grateful for you. Hopefully, Jennifer is jumping on now too. But yeah, so we're going to kind of do this panel in two parts because IG Live lets us have four people on at the same time, max. And so we're going to start off with Jennifer and Jordan, who both bring certain characters to life, who are integral to making this project what it is, and who we are excited to talk more about the creative processes with, what intention they bring when they're telling stories that center and ground women, and why it was important that they be a part of a project like this. Um, Jana, I don't know. Can you invite Jennifer up as well so we can have her on?
Yeah, I just sent her an
Okay,
invite. I
perfect.
see she was in the chat, so she should be on in just a moment.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll start with you, Jordan, and we don't need to belabor too long. But first of all, how are you? Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, so can you tell us first and foremost, what about this project made you say yes? What about this project, Red for Revolution, excited you? What about the stories that are told about women excited you?
Oh my God. I think when I heard about Red for Revolution, my two favorite things, jazz and then political activism, I was like, this is perfect.
Mm,
So not only the content of the story, but the people that were a part of it were really important to me. I got wind of this project through Jennifer, and of course, anytime that Jennifer says something is good, you obviously have to you do it
yes.
because her taste is incomparable. Oh, hey.
Yes.
Hi. Oh
Thank
my God, I'm
you.
so excited to be here. This is
Hi.
so fun. Hello, keep going, Jordan. You were, dropping gems. Go ahead.
But I was just saying, yeah, I got through the project through you, and then Jade and I just really connected, and the whole team, and it just seemed like a really clandestine experience. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that so much. And what's beautiful, and we'll get into this more in a little bit, but for those who are not aware, because you're obviously hearing the episodes come to life, but you're not actually seeing Jordan and Jennifer. But Jordan plays Jasmine James, and Jennifer voices Suzanne, her mother. And so I just feel like there's some magic that I'm excited to bring to life there. But I did not know that background about you hearing about the project through Jennifer. So Jennifer, tell us more about what made you say yes. What excited you about the project and getting to bring Red for Revolution to life? Uh-oh. Okay. Hopefully she comes right back on. No worries. But yes, okay, so let's talk more because when you first said something that excited you was jazz,
Mhm.
I thought you were actually referring to your character. Okay,
Hi.
here you are.
Well, first of all, I just have to say how excited I am to be here. I mean, so many of my favorite people. I mean, Jordan is, my heart. Liz and Loren, I met at a market in Venice and just fell in love with them. And number five is probably my one of my favorite blends. And Jana is just a goddess, a creator goddess. Um, when I first read the project, when I go to look at a project and I read the script, I look for that moment where there's a kind of a quickening, where there's a connection to the character.
Mhm.
And I did not feel that at all with Suzanne. I felt zero connection. However, I was so excited about this project.
Mhm.
I was so excited about how original it is, how bold it is. And certainly, we all are aware that Black female queer liberation is set in the intersection of multiple systems of oppression. Racism, sexism, homophobia, and oftentimes classism. And these are all really complex issues that are layered and you don't see them in mainstream media very often. But also there's this beautiful intersection at Black female queer liberation that is full of joy, that is full of magic, and that is full of power. And this is something that this project was diving into. And I thought, I want to be on that expedition. I want to be with these miraculous, amazing creators. And I thought, you know what? I will take this as an acting exercise and I'm going to figure out my way in. I'm going to figure out.
Like the 21st century. So what was that like for you?
I found Jasmine to be like a very emblematic teenager of right now. I think a lot of young queer people uh, in 2025 are learning how to negotiate their queerness and also how to harken back to revolution and how to be how to organize politically and how to be so like I think it's so great to be a young queer person sometimes. And I think the one reason it is good right now in some ways is I get to think about what I like and what I identify myself as. And what I like in Jasmine is that she's also really interested in the collective as much as she is in her own individual identity. And so anyway, these are a lot of questions that I think about in my personal life of of how to, you know, the classic thing of like think global, act local. But I didn't have to work really hard to connect with Jasmine. I think it just was like a thing that is, again, I think Jennifer talked to it too. It's in the script. It's a it was like a loose garment. It was really nice to live in that world.
Ooh, I love that analogy. And I love the nods you're both making to the script, which is so important. We just come out of an era of really advocating for writers and championing the work that they do. So I really appreciate y'all giving voice to that. Forgive my little baby in the background who is making too much noise, Bubby. Too much noise. Um, but okay, so now I'm curious when you think of especially the world we're in now, where queer and trans folks, trans especially, are under attack, where Black folks and stories are under attack, where it feels like trying to talk about liberation and women deserving to take up space is being sidelined. Does it hit differently that this story is coming out in this moment? Because you all filmed this in a very different time, but it's debuting and reaching listeners in this era where some of these themes feel really present. How is that shifting the way that you think about the project?
I don't feel so much of a shift in the way, I think about the project, but I have been thinking a lot about collective memory. I've been thinking a lot about collective memory and how storytelling and these projects um, contribute to collective memory at a time when systemic erasure is being attempted. And so delving into these stories and being reminded of what matters and being reminded of the joy and being reminded of the power and being reminded of the history, the intergenerational history is really important. And I remember somebody on Instagram talking about how, they can say that the color green doesn't exist. They can try to legislate by saying the color green doesn't exist, but the color green exists and it's beautiful and it's always been there and it will continue to be there. And I think what these stories do is it starts to add to the collective memory, which is so powerful.
Mm.
I love that. That's really important. I'm so glad you also centered that around collective memory because we really do need to be thinking critically about how we're not revisionist about this moment, but also how it's straddling this line of wanting to reflect the times, but also want to affirm a better time. It seems, and so the stories that we tell, how we tell them, what we give voice to, really is a big part of that. Jordan, any thoughts and reflections that you have?
I I don't know. That's sort of been my general vibe. Um, but I what I do love is that Jane, I guess, can tell the story, but I love the story about how this whole thing came about was through a prompt for her master's degree, which was tell a love story. And her choice was love is liberation. And so that's just what I always like to harken back to is like love for liberation, love in liberation in this moment. Um, so yeah.
That was Perfect. It's as if you knew the questions that I was about to ask, because the final question that I have for both of you is, on this International Women's Day, what does queer women's liberation look like? What does Black women's liberation look like? And what would you want to leave listeners with if they're falling in love with characters like Jasmine and learning from characters like Suzanne? What would you want people to be reflecting on throughout this Women's History Month?
For me, I think the most powerful thing there is in the way that gravity is powerful is love, and to go forward and dive headfirst into love and to be in community is the most important, powerful thing that you can do, and not give way to isolating and not give way to fear in the way that Suzanne did. You just dive into love and surround yourself in love. It is the most powerful thing that you can do.
Yes. No individualism. That's not the answer. Community and love and care are antidotes to the rise in fear and hate that we're seeing. I couldn't agree more. Jordan, any thoughts you have?
Yeah, I think specifically with the way that Jasmine reaches out to her community is intergenerationally, and I think if you are touched by this story and want to reach out to your elders, do it, girl. Like, talk to make your own podcasts. Like, talk to your I love what you were saying, Jennifer, about collective memory. Like, um get the story straight and talk to the people you love.
I mean, yeah, wow. Thank you both so much. It is no wonder that you bring these characters to life so beautifully. We're going to let y'all sign off and enjoy your International Women's Day. Thank you for your gifts and your talent and your reflections in this moment. Definitely going to be thinking a lot about collective memory and about care and about love is liberation, Jennifer, to the thoughts that you said, and Jordan, to you, about making sure that we're honoring these intergenerational connections, remembering that there's so much that we get from not giving up on each other, and honoring that we come from different times and we are fed by different fears, but that if love is our unifying force, their conversation can be a driving force for change. So thank you both so much.
Thank
Sending my
you.
love.
Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you.
All right.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Whew. Oh my God.